Leather and Lace, a really neat song that Stevie Nicks put together, well, released in 1981 on her album Bella Donna, but it was a song she'd written at the request of Waylon Jennings, who said, "Write me a song if you could, please, Miss Nicks," called Leather and Lace. And she put together this beautiful duet for Waylon and his wife, Jessi Colter. By the time she finished it, with a lot of help from Don Henley, she recorded it herself, because just for lots of reasons. Anyway, I go into a lot of that stuff. I have a lesson on this at TotallyGuitars now that is part of the Target program. It's a fairly simple song, so you don't have to do very much, you don't have to play any bar chords. You do have to play some unusual chords. She does it capoed with the first fret, at least on the studio version. Versions with Rod Stewart and a few other people are done in different keys, sometimes a whole step lower, sometimes actually a step and a half lower from here with the guitar tuned down. But the main thing we work on in the lesson, and the really important technique, is just strumming and hitting bass notes. And that's what a lot of this lesson goes into, is the accuracy of getting the bass notes clean and to cut through the rest of the strum. So the biggest thing you can do to work on for that is just play a regular D chord. If you want, you can capo to the first fret, or you can of course do this without the capo. Let's get back to non-capo. But the key to hitting bass notes is to make sure you use what's called a rest stroke, where the pick comes in from an angle, kind of like out here, not straight down, and the tip of the pick hits the string, and then more of the pick lands on the string below, the next higher string, closer to the floor though. And so, in order to hit the fourth string accurately, I'm going to make sure that the tip of the pick hits the fourth string, but more of the pick drives into the third string, and that prevents this from happening. And lets it sound like this. So anyway, that's what we address in the lesson, and of course the chord progression and everything else. But that technique is really, really important to get down. So you can start working on that, and then if you want to check out the rest of the lesson, learn the chord progression, which is pretty simple. It's D with a descending bass line through a Mixolydian scale, and then some G and A chords. But we want to have the A have a little suspended sound on it sometimes add a high A. So, anyway, fairly simple song up at TotallyGuitars now. There are easier songs as well, and more complicated songs as well, even in our free lesson section, but this one is part of the Target program. But I encourage you to check out the free lessons if you like, TG Free Lessons here at YouTube, or come check them all out at TotallyGuitars, where there are attachments, downloads. You can get the tab and other stuff, which we can't attach here at YouTube. So, anyway, that's the story. Leather and Lace, Stevie Nicks, and of course Don Henley from 1981 is up and available now at TotallyGuitars.